Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.
Hello friends, and welcome to Fairfield Today. Paul Jasson, good to have you with us as we're in the lobby downtown on a beautiful day here in downtown Lancaster. We're at Fairfield Federal where we're telecasting again, bringing you Fairfield Today. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Second half of the show today, in a few minutes, we'll be talking about Millersport and the Community Theater that they've got going on up there. It's kind of been resurrected after everybody had a rough year last year, but everything's coming back, and they're going to have Community Theater again. They've got a good production coming up here. It's going to be fun to talk about that. But our first segment is a young lady that's always fun to have her on, Fran Tharp. Fran, nice to have you on.
Thank you, Bob.
Your organization is?
Visit Fairfield County.
I always want to still say VCB when I do it, so Visit Fairfield County. And there's always something going on in your office. There's no lack of things to promote, things to talk about. Even if you just had Lancaster, that would be a lot, but you have Fairfield County. So you have
500 square miles of fun.
But who's counting?
Right.
Fran Tharp is with us, Marketing Director for Visit Fairfield County. And as I go up, even up and down the streets here in Lancaster, I see lots of things out. The decorations in the last, I don't know, maybe decade for Halloween is just phenomenal how that's grown. I understand it's second only to Christmas in terms of decorations, and you're right on the ground floor of that. I know we talked about it, I don't know if it was a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, about the Scarecrow Trail. That's up and running again, bigger and better than ever?
Always,
Yep.
always, yeah.
Yep.
And that's what we just hope to keep spreading out. This year we're in 14 communities around the county.
Wow.
And there are scarecrows in every community.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a great way that you can get out safely. It's family friendly, it's free, it's fun, and you really get to see some creativity all over the county. It's amazing what some of these displays are like. I mean, they're really, really cool.
Now, you this is on your website, and you have. Do you still have the little thing where you check off where you've been and you've hit them all? Is there a way to do that on the website?
Our app has a challenge, and so what you can do
Scarecrow
is...
Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. You can check in at each of the scarecrows, and on the signs, every scarecrow has a sign with a name and the community that it's in. There's a little code, and you check in you enter that code in the app, and you can vote for your favorite. Every community has a People's Choice Award, so if Mulan is your favorite in Lancaster, you click here and vote. You check in on the app, and when you get half of the scarecrows in any given community, you get a little prize.
Now, you've had this, how many years? Is this 2-3 years?
This is our third year.
Third year you've done it. Numbers of people that are in, is it the hundreds of people that get in on this?
Oh yeah, hundreds of people create scarecrows, and then thousands of people vote.
Really? That many?
Oh yeah.
So they make it a point to really pay attention to the trail that you've laid out. Mm-hmm. So 14 communities, I'd say that's most ever?
Yeah, it is. And there's no reason we can't keep expanding.
Sure.
There's a lot of people all over this county, and even now as I drive through the county, sometimes I'll go, ooh, they should be on our trail. A lot of people really decorate for Halloween, so it's a cool thing to see.
And it says 250 scarecrows you're expected to have up and running on all this?
We already do, yeah.
Wow.
And more keep coming every day. People see someone else has a scarecrow, and they'll call the office and go, can I still get a scarecrow on the trail? Sure, the more the merrier.
So the way to do this is go download your app and get on that, and that's got all the information on it.
We also have a new landing page on our website under Trail of Scarecrows.
Okay.
You go there, it has a way that you can register, you can download the app, you can see photos of some of the scarecrows that are around the county. It's cool. So we have it on the website and we have it on the app.
I'd say most people, not everyone, some people like the heat of summer. Some like the cold, maybe not the brutalness but they enjoy the coldness of winter. But autumn perhaps is the most favorite time. It gets a little cooler. You're not, after being in a hot summer, you're cooled off. Football is back. There's a lot of things going on. High school football is with us. But that autumn experience is something that you really hooked on to.
We love the autumn experience. I think that's one of the great things about our region is, Fairfield County. We have a great agricultural heritage, and so we have lots of apple orchards and pumpkin farms and things that, if you live in Columbus, have you ever seen a pumpkin farm? No. So we have a lot of people who come down from the city and go, oh my God, they grab their flannel shirt and they get in the car, they come down here and they buy a pumpkin spice latte at El City, and then they go out to a pumpkin patch or walk through a corn maze or whatever, and they really get to appreciate what autumn means in a harvest sense.
And are the pumpkin patches continuing to grow? I just happened to be going to one of our granddaughters' homes the other day. It's out on Lifer Lane, right off the bypass, and there's all of a sudden there's a sign, all these cars there. What's that? Well, it's a pick your own pumpkin patch where they can do it. And so I guess that's the draw. Yeah. That was it, Heartland Farms. So that's the draw there to go to these.
That's a relatively new place, but they also have a lot of other things. They have an event called Blaze Maze, where you bring your flashlight and you can go through their corn maze at night, which is really cool. And every Sunday they have something called Sunday Surprise, that you could go out there and do some sort of autumnal craft
at their
farm.
beck and call. Yeah, that's pretty neat.
So you don't know what you're going to be doing. You just go.
Creative things people come up with, and I'm sure that's great for them and great for you to promote things like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
How many pumpkin patches would you say there are around? Are there like 3 dozen, 2 dozen,
probably a dozen or
in the county?
8, yeah.
And each one of them have little differences that
there's
make them...
There's something different about them. Yeah, and there's some, like, we've seen a couple of new ones pop up this year, actually, that we've been very pleased with. But there are some that, like, they've just been in business for so long, they've got a following, and there are people who make it, a trek every fall to go to this particular farm and pick out their pumpkin, and that's great.
When I think of things that have changed over the years in Fairfield County, one of the places from being a little person here in town to now is the emergence of Buckeye Lake. I think now, when I was a little kid and my dad would go up there to fish and we'd stay up there, it was just little shanties on the I think mostly of Leeds Island, because that's where Dad liked to go the most. But it was just a whole different feel. And now, enormous homes, beautiful homes. The ODNR place up there is fabulous when you go onto Leeds Island. If you got that big dock right there where you can load. The condos have built up there. That's amazing. And the winery, I mean, it's really a destination.
It is a destination, and that's why we created that whole brand of Escape to Buckeye Lake.
Mm-hmm.
So we created a really awesome website that everybody should go look at called escapetobuckeyelake.com.
Okay.
And we promote everything that's going on all around the Buckeye Lake area, not just in Fairfield County, but also in Licking and Perry County.
It's Licking and Perry all up there. But everyone has something that they can talk about.
Absolutely. And, when visitors come, it is a destination. When visitors come, they don't know where the county line is. They don't care where the county line is. They want to go to a winery, or they want to go to a brewery, or they want to go rent a kayak, or they want to ride on the trail with a bike that you can rent up there. I mean, they've got a lot of amenities at Buckeye Lake that they didn't used to have.
Yeah, it is amazing to just see the transformation. And even in the last few years, when they did all that reconstruction up there and things were really down for that whole area, they certainly have come back.
They have come back, and I would think it's a little bit bigger and better than before. I know they used to have the amusement park there and all that stuff, but I mean, since that time, it did kind of fall into a little bit of disrepair.
Oh, yeah.
But now it's beautiful, and there's so much to do. It's a great destination.
And I can remember, I went, even in high school, it was still there when I was in high school, the Buckeye Lake Park, and we'd go up there. But now you go by there, that's where the big dock is, right there, the big loading dock, and they built those condos right along there. I mean, there is so much to see up there, even if you just want to drive around and look at the beautiful homes, if you do nothing other than that. But your app gives them far more to look at than that.
Oh, absolutely. You can take a pontoon tour and go see the shore from the lake, which is really neat. We did that recently. And like I said, you can rent a bike, you can ride all around the lake, you can go to some great restaurants and just hang out at some cool pubs and live music and all the fun things that makes it Lake Land and Leisure, Escape to Buckeye Lake.
Well, and another thing up there, I'd encourage people that, as far as we're talking Buckeye Lake, to go up there at the Buckeye Lake Museum. I don't know if that's on 79. I can't think what that's on. Maybe not 79, but it's as you're going into to that area right there. They have a wonderful museum that talks about the history about Buckeye Lake. But it is really a wonderful place, and I'm so glad Visit Fairfield County has kind of embraced that, and that's probably a big part of what you do now is to get involved with them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a lot of work to market your own county and also two others.
Sure. Well, that's why you have such a big staff there.
Right.
Fran Tharp is with the marketing director of Visit Fairfield County. And, we've got, when you talk about the beautiful things around here, we even think back to right here, not very far from where we are in the Fairfield Heritage. You've got everything within a couple blocks here, this kind of downtown area. The Sherman House is right here. There's a lot right here in Lancaster to look at. Maybe some people haven't seen.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, we always encourage people to be a tourist in their own backyard. It's amazing what you can find. Tourist
in your own backyard. Excellent. That's good.
Yeah.
So I know I see people with headphones on there. I guess there are still tours available that you can get for Sherman House.
Yeah, absolutely. Sherman House has tours, the Georgian, the Glass Museum. There's all kinds of places that you can really learn about our heritage. So we encourage people to do that.
And even in the time you've been there with Visit Fairfield County, I'm sure the growth has been phenomenal, the things that have changed, and so many new things. Each and every year you guys keep coming up with new things all the time.
We do. When is it going to end?
That's job security. There's always so the Scarecrow Trail is going on how long?
It goes through the last day of October, till the 31st.
End of October, okay.
And then our Autumn Experience, which is sort of the overarching umbrella that the Trail of Scarecrows falls under, that also goes through the last day of October. You can find out about that on our website under the Autumn Experience, Trail of Scarecrows on our website under Trail of Scarecrows, and then we have a Facebook page that has the most up-to-date information, and that's Trail of Scarecrows Autumn Experience Facebook page.
Very good.
We encourage people to follow us and come out for some fun.
So sooner take a breath there, and now you head into, I guess it would be Thanksgiving and Christmas. We won't say it too loud, but Christmas is right around the corner.
I know.
So you do so many great things then too.
We're already working on our Tinsel and Traditions Trail. That's a lot of work, and under that is our Holiday Spirit Trail. So we want people, even though your scarecrows are up now, we want you to start thinking about how you're going to decorate for the holidays, so you can be on our Holiday Spirit Trail.
Well, it's these trails. I can remember a few years ago when you first talked about that. It was just I couldn't quite grab the concept. Now everything is about a trail. You have different trails for different times of the year, different events. People really love that, whether it's wineries or restaurants or scarecrows or pumpkin patch, whatever it is. I mean, people really enjoy that.
I think it's a good way for people to travel because they get to just tick things off of a list. Okay, I've seen everything on this trail.
And you get to see a lot of things that maybe you wouldn't have, and go to communities, maybe you wouldn't have done that.
That's our job. That's our mission, to try to get people. You could be, like I said, be a tourist in your own backyard, but when we started the Trail of Scarecrows, the lady we were working with in Bremen had never been in Lithopolis. And she'd lived here her entire life.
Really?
And it's just like, no. We need to. There's a reason for us to move around.
But a lot of great history, a lot of good communities around here to head, and that's your job to tell us about it and make us go, Fran.
Exactly.
Make us attend.
That's what I'm here for.
Fran Tharp with the Visit Fairfield County organization there. Your website is?
VisitFairfieldCounty.org.
And you've got a Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
You've got an app.
Yes.
You're all about Buckeye Lake. You're all about Scarecrow tours. It's an exciting time of the year, and
it is.
It'll only get more exciting.
Exactly. That's what we're counting on.
Thanks, Fran, for being with us.
Thank you, Paul.
Fran Tharp on Fairfield Today. We'll be right back.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference.
We were retiring from Tucson, Arizona, and we made a retirement trip out around Ohio, having decided that's where we wanted to be. And we came across this town called Lancaster, and we fell in love with the downtown area where the fountain is and the memorials and the flags and all this stuff. And we looked around and I said, there's our bank right there.
There's something to be said about a community bank in your hometown.
Right. If you live in the community, you should do business in the community as much as possible. So it makes sense to bank with the community bank where you live.
Fairfield Federal is the bank to be at. If you live in this town, or any town actually, you want to bank at a local home bank. And the employees are happy here, they're conversant, customer service is through the roof. There's nothing more you could ask for.
Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Life is unpredictable. That's why estate planning is important. Estate planning provides you comfort and peace of mind knowing that you're taking care of your loved ones and ensuring your legacy lives on just as you envisioned. You lived a life that is beautifully and uniquely yours. You deserve an estate planning attorney who understands that and creates a plan as unique as you and in the best interest of your loved ones. You deserve the local, trusted, experienced attorneys at Dagger Law.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. I want to thank Fran Tharp for stopping by and talking about everything that's going on in Fairfield County. As you can tell, they aren't a big organization, not a big staff, not a big office, but they have a big job to promote everything that goes on in Lancaster and Fairfield County. Like she said, 500 square miles. That's a lot of opportunities to talk about great things. And this time of the year, there are so many good things that are going on, and we're going to talk about one of them again right now as we get into this fall time of the year. And one thing we like to talk about is theater and the Garrett players and things that go on here. But one of them that's back now, kind of coming back strong again, is the Millersport Community Theater. And I've got with me Brenton LeuVoy. Brenton, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You are the director, and I'm excited to talk about this. One of my all-time favorite, I guess it's a musical, would be Young Frankenstein. And this is your production coming up here this weekend, the 22nd through the 24th. Musical comedy, Young Frankenstein, and nobody sings Putting on the Ritz like Young Frankenstein. And you're the director of this.
Yes.
This has to be just a real treat for you.
It's just a lot of fun, and it has been a really, really fun experience with this cast and getting everything together. And it's such a fun, great musical based off the Mel Brooks movie, and so it's just a really, really good time.
So this is your first musical comedy in a while?
So we, just this past summer, we did The Wedding Singer.
Right.
So we did that musical. I also directed that production.
Oh, okay.
And so we're, off of that, we had some success with that, a lot of positive feedback from the community, and we got the inevitable question of, what's next?
What's next? Where do you go from here?
Yeah, and so we were looking at it, and we're like, well, Halloween's coming up, so we can kind of feed off of that spooky energy that everybody loves to see around towards the end of October, and so but we still wanted it to be a lighthearted, fun show. So it figured Young Frankenstein was kind of the perfect blend of that Halloween energy mixed with big musical comedy fun.
And when you think about, and I'm sure the books you operate out of are that way, Mel Brooks, he just looks at things differently than most people. He's that George Carlin kind of odd, quirky way of looking at things. And Young Frankenstein is about as great a movie as I'd ever saw. And like I say, there are hundreds of versions of Putting on the Ritz, because that's a classic song, but nobody does it like the monster in Young Frankenstein. And your guy does it that well?
Oh yeah, he's doing a great job. Yeah, we actually have a community member, Ethan Mauger, who's been with MCT for a while. We got him back for this show, and he's got the boots on that makes him quite near 7 feet tall.
Oh my! Now tell us, where do you do this?
So we actually operate in the Millersport Elementary Auditorium.
Okay.
So we have a little bit of collaboration there with the Walnut Township School District. So they allow us to operate in their auditorium space, and so it's a little bit of a way for us to work back and connect in with the community where we're working out of.
Now, how long has this production been going on? Have you been doing this a couple of months?
We started actually beginning of September, probably middle of September, so about 2.5 month rehearsal
Really?
process.
That's not a lot of time. People really got onto this and really have absorbed the information in.
Yeah. We didn't take too much time for this one, but we've got plenty of time to do what we need to.
So it's on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein musical comedy. So the 22nd, 23rd, Friday, Saturday at 7:30.
Correct.
And then Sunday at 2 p.m.?
Yep.
2 p.m. And where can you get tickets?
So tickets are going to be $15. It is reserved seating.
Okay.
And so you can go onto our website, mctohio.com, and find the link there to be able to purchase tickets. We also will have them available at the door. So if people want to come on show day and get their tickets, then they have the option to do so.
Same price?
Yep, same price.
Same price.
Yep.
And do you have a website? Do you look this up? Is it Millersport Community Theater?
Yeah, so it's mctohio.com. You'll see all the information for the show on there.
And it's a good website. Got a lot of good information on there. Talks a little bit about what you've done in the past as the wedding singer and this. And so you're the director on it. And this is your second show in a row you've directed?
Yes.
You did Wedding Singer, and now you didn't get enough. A glutton for punishment that you are. Now you're back to do this.
I guess so.
Have you been on the other side of it? Have you done the acting part of it too, or do you?
Yeah, I'm primarily an actor.
Okay.
So Wedding Singer was actually my first production as managing director, and so just kind of jumping right back into it. But
Sure.
A lot of the experience that I have is being on stage and being on the performing side of it.
So a little different though, being back here and with other people trying to draw this out of what they used to do to you.
It's definitely interesting, and it's eye-opening being on this end of it, because when you're on stage and you're in a role, then you only really need to focus on yourself, and that's kind of what you
now it's
focus
far
on.
more big picture and macro.
Now I'm worrying about 30 other people besides myself, so it's a whole other part of my brain that's working.
Now, your cast members, are they primarily from Millersport and Fairfield County?
We do have a handful of Millersport people in there. Very excited to have people in the community. We actually we have a couple of board members involved with the production. Our board president, Mary Dupler, she is going to be in the pit playing bass for us.
Nice.
And the longest standing member, one of the only original members of MCT left, Jeff Dupler, he is actually in this production with us. So, it's really great to have someone that is kind of an anchor for MCT who has been there for so long and has known it from the beginning, to be able to be in there. And a lot of fresh new perspectives, because while we do have a lot of people from Millersport involved in this, we also draw in from the Lancaster area, from out in Sheridan and Columbus and Polaris. So we kind of have some reach from all over. I think even so far down as Athens, we've got some people coming. So it's people. It's kind of, if you build it, they will come. You give an opportunity and you make a good environment that people want to work in, and they'll come from wherever to make it happen.
There are a couple of organizations here in Lancaster, Garrett Players, and a couple groups that are theater, but these aren't musicals. These are primarily just theater, and they do that, and they're wonderful at what they do. But musical comedy, I think you'd have to have a lot of abilities to be in a musical comedy, because you can be a good actor, perhaps not a great singer, or vice versa, but in this, you may have to do a little of both.
It's a lot going on when you kind of throw all of these different elements together. So not only do you have to have kind of the acting know-how of knowing how to make jokes land, and there's a lot of slapstick involved with this especially too, because that was just part of Mel Brooks' style, but when you throw in song and dance with it, now you have a physicality to it that you have to carry throughout the whole show with this intense choreography. And Faith Kaler, our choreographer, is very, very talented, and she does not hold back when it comes to making things, I want to say as difficult as they need to be, because it's big and it's fun and it's musical theater.
Over the top.
She pulls them along with her. If anybody's struggling, she will make sure that there is no weak link in the production. So everybody is just very visually stimulating and stunning to watch. And we also you have that musical aspect of it.
I was going to mention that you also have an orchestra here.
Yes, we do. We have I want to say between 8 and 12. I think people. So a little bit bigger pit. We had 4 people for Wedding Singer, because it was more of like a rock band style.
Sure.
This one is more of a fuller sound. So we have some more people from the area and from a little bit more in the Columbus area that have come in to help us out.
Now, when you get the books or whatever you use to learn the lines and learn all that, you also get the scores for the music too. That all comes together.
Yep, that all comes together.
Songs. How many songs do you think are in it?
Oh, goodness.
More than just putting on the Ritz, I know that. But that's what I think of.
That's the big one that everybody thinks of. But it's relatively. It's not sung. It's obviously not a sung-through musical. There's a lot of like funny dialogue.
Right.
But this one, so we are actually doing the West End version.
Okay.
So they opened it up on Broadway, and it was not as successful as they thought it was going to be, because when Mel Brooks brought it in, he thought it was going to be the next Producers. He thought it was going to boom up like that.
Sure.
And it just did not get that kind of response. And so eventually they brought it over to the West End, and Mel Brooks was actually involved in both productions.
Okay.
And so when he went to the West End, he's like, all right, let's look at this. How can we fix it? How can we get rid of stuff? So there's a lot of differences with this version that we're doing, that it was actually just released during COVID.
Okay.
So we are probably one of the first community
You're pretty early on.
Yeah, so we're definitely one of the first community theaters in the area, if not one of the first community theaters in general to be doing this version of the production. So
That's pretty exciting.
It is very, very exciting for us. So, and it's a lot of, you see the differences and some because it's so new and fresh, you see some mistakes that are like in the book that they never caught because people haven't gone through it and edited it so much yet, because it was it was just a whole thing.
Is it pretty faithful to the movie?
This version especially, they kind of took a step back and brought it a little bit closer to the movie. So where they had some songs, they cut that out and like put it into some movie dialogue. So there's differences with orchestration in this one, and there's some songs that were not in the original production, and there's some songs that they took out of the original production.
Did Mel Brooks write the songs for these?
Mel Brooks wrote the music for this.
He's so multi-talented.
Yeah. So, and he, like I said, he was involved in both productions, both on Broadway and in the West End. So this is all had his hand and his stamp and seal of approval the whole time. So we're trying to stay as true to that as possible.
Well, you can't do, if you've got his stamp of approval, you know you're doing all right here.
Oh, yeah.
So it's coming up this weekend, October 22nd, 3rd, and 4th. It's Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein, a musical comedy. And looking ahead, you've got plans for the future coming up, more musicals or more theater?
We are looking into a couple of things. We're discussing with the board on what we kind of want to do moving forward.
Do several a year?
We're kind of in talks at looking more towards announcing more of a season of musicals, just shows in general.
You want to do musicals?
Musicals, we do want to highlight those, but we're also looking at potentially doing some plays, bringing back some sort of like the cabaret style that's a little bit lower commitment, get more people involved that want to be. But we're still in talks with that with the board. It's something that was special with these two productions is they kind of just popped up, and we thought, hey, we could do this show, and then we jumped right into it. So we're trying to plan ahead a little bit more, so that way people can look forward to what we've got going next.
So something will really be in 2022?
Yes, 2022 will be the next thing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how you could have hit on a better one. A musical comedy, Young Frankenstein, Mel Brooks, wonderful movie, and musical too. There's so many great songs in there. And again, probably, do you enjoy the directing side as much as you thought, more or less?
I would say I enjoy it as much. It's definitely a different experience. I've just from these two productions, I've definitely learned a lot, and they both have things that are very, very special to me, and I between directing and performing, I plan to continue to do both.
You ever think you'd be like a player manager where you could do both in one? Yeah, that ever crossed your mind? Would that be a lot?
It would definitely be a lot. You're talking about like trying to put myself in a show?
Yeah, be the director.
I think it'll be a long time before I ever try to do something like that. I think that it's for right now. I'd kind of like to keep those worlds
separate. Whatever you do, you just want to work on that and strengthen that side of it.
I definitely. I wouldn't want it to be a situation where I couldn't put my full focus on one or the other.
Well, it's just going to be great. The website is mctohio.com. mctohio.com. It's this weekend, October 22 through the 24th. 22nd and 23rd, Friday and Saturday, are at 7 o'clock.
7:30.
Or 7:30.
House opens at 7.
7. You get in at 7. Show starts at 7:30. Then on the 24th, it's at 2 o'clock. This is at the elementary school at Millersport.
Yep.
Be a fun time. Tickets are available online. And it's you actually get a seat, so you know where you're sitting. You pick out a seat, you do that. Seating. But if they are available, they are available at the door.
Yes.
$15.
Yep.
Any place else they can get tickets, or is that the only way?
Online and at the door would be the ways that we would do that.
Well, we're glad you're back. Millersport has a rich tradition of just doing great stuff up there, and great plays, and I remember minstrel shows they used to do up there, and they've always been involved and always done so many great things. So this will be such a hoot. I know you're excited. The Millersport Elementary Auditorium, Young Frankenstein by Mel Brooks, a musical comedy, October 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Brenton LeuVoy is the director of that. Best of luck on this, and we'll be talking, you hope, for in 2022 for many great shows in the future.
Absolutely.
Sure, thank you. Brenton LeuVoy from the Millersport Community Theater. Thank you for joining us on Fairfield Today.
Interface Video, in cooperation with Fairfield Federal, presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fair Hope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Frankie Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield County Adam H., Dagger Law, and the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities.